How y'all doing today? This is Aaron Weaver with Weaver's Stonehouse Farms, and this is a different kind of video. This is at our local church, St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Buckstown, Pennsylvania, and what it is, it's to showcase, or not really showcase, but to show you, guide you for FM transmitting to your people if you want to have a parking lot service. So as most of you, you probably have older equipment, or as like my brother, who is a pastor, he doesn't have any equipment. I'm going to try and explain this a couple of different ways, but short and to the point so you can figure out those details on your own. This is to give you a general overview, okay? So the core of this system, if you take a look at it, this is an older FM transmitter that somebody had and is letting us go ahead and use. And it's really that simple. Turn it on, pick a frequency that, there's nobody broadcasting on, so turn your radio on, listen on your radio, and figure out where you can do that, right? So for us, it's 89.1 FM. So then there's adjustments on that. I'm not going to go through those adjustments. There's also one, it's mic. So if you want it, most of these, if you look at them at Amazon, $100, $200, or whatever your heart's content spending, right? There's multiple options, and I've seen they're available. Simply put, like for my brother as an example, you could go ahead and just use mic. And you could go ahead and put mic input. He could have a wired mic. He could go ahead and talk, and that would broadcast out. So that would work. So what we have here is a mixing board. Now, this one, okay, just in case somebody wants to know the name, it's a Ramsey. And if I look at the information on the back, it's a Ramsey FM 100 transmitter from Victor, New York. Okay, so this girl's old. And the connections are on the back, so it's very simple. 120 volts in. This is your antenna, and there's an antenna off this one. Pretty powerful antenna, what I've been told. And then this is just inputs. So line in right, line in left, right? So it's really that simple for the inputs. So then it goes ahead and that outputs, obviously. So let's take a look at that input. Where does that come from? Well, that comes through here. And on our mixing board, okay, on that mixing board it says record out, but it's an output, right? So that's an output going over to that. You're going, oh my gosh, I get lost in all this. No, don't. It's really not that hard to understand. Before we get to the mixing part, let's get to this part. So up here, we recently purchased new wireless mics. To add on to some of the mics we had, so we could have dual, what are these called? Or just wireless mics that you can pin on to somebody and the pastor can walk around and talk. So there's two of these with us in this kit we purchased, and there were two handheld microphones in this kit as well. Okay, so this is Phoenix X Pro, so PTU 5000. So this was a recent purchase. It works great. And you adjust this, obviously, accordingly to what you need. But to keep it simple for us, power in, and then the outputs. So there are 4 different outputs here. So there's one output to a mic, another output, this is to our headsets, and then this one is over to another one, and this is to another one. So these are just the generalized outputs here. Now I'm going to pull this, I'm going to turn the power off so I don't mess everything up on this. And I'm going to flip it so you can see. Okay, so let's look at the back of this, at the meat and potatoes of it, right? And you can see the antennas, it's wireless. So what does all this mean to you? Okay, this is your output 4, output 3, output 2, output 1, right? So those are those outputs, and then here's your power. So all that's simply doing is putting that output into the mixing board, right? I'm not the best with the mixing board. There's guys that are really good with this, but don't ask me for that. And then that takes that signal, mixes it up, right? Adjusts it, and then takes that and puts it out on the FM transmitter. Now, obviously on this mixing board, we also have speakers throughout the church. So there's that output as well. So that's coming off of this. It's literally that simple. There's not a lot of parts and pieces. So what you really could do is if you took a look at this, this has this connection. Let's pull this out so you can see the connection. So that is a 3-pin connector. So then obviously on the back of that, that's just the old red-white AV connectors. So you need to be aware of that. If you don't have a mixing board in the middle, you're going to have to find something that has compatible connectors between them. I'm sure there's probably an adapter somewhere if you dig around, or you get a little mini mixing board, right? Something simple. But this is what we use here. Do you think I covered everything? So if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments. I'll see what I can do to answer them the best I can. But may the peace of the Lord be with you, and may He bless your may He bless you and how you reach your people in these times of need. Amen.